Hello, my name is back to 295 Show. I'm JMJ Booksquare, and today we are talking about writing and trying something a little different. However, this is February 1st. I think it's officially February 1st. And I want to come here and talk about writing. And I'm just going to take you through my writing process. I'm also looking at writing tablets and just like normal tablets and keyboards and stuff because I need something to be able to write with at home. I've not found anything that I personally like yet. And so that's also a journey we're going to be going on this week. I wouldn't be surprised if I buy something before the end of the week is up. Oh my God. I gotta tell you about what I'm just experiencing. And which reminds me I need to update the other first draft as well. Anyway, we're working on the Muse. Originally the plan was to work on CFR this month, which is still the plan. However, the Muse, I really just wanted to get to 40,000 words. I did not accomplish the goal. We were like 300 words off. I'm mad at myself. My goal was to hit 40,000 words, forget about the Muse ever existed, work on Project CFR, finish Act 1, go back to the Muse. We're hitting the year mark for when I posted the pitch idea for Project CFR, and so like when I have that update and we're talking about where we're at, I'm gonna post these clips of me being like, oh my God, look at me writing this book in that video like I did for the last update video, because I think those are kind of fun and started working on. That video's not coming out until like the very end of February, so I have the entire month to figure out that problem. And I don't really know how far we're off. We're here between 10 and 30,000 words from finishing Act 1. For a romance, that's scary because I don't know how far we are because there's a whole section of book that's like so many chapters away from where I'm at currently, and I'm trying to figure out how to build more tension and see it. But also, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know if Francis and Franklin need tension. I know some people are not gonna like that, and some people are gonna want the more slow burn friends to lovers, second chanciness of it all. And we might still get some of that, but like, I don't think it's gonna be like high slow burn. If you guys don't know what either of these books are, let me explain to you because I'm sure it's gonna be kind of confusing. CFR is the book we're writing together on YouTube. That is Francis and Franklin's book. That is a cozy fantasy romance. It's set in a fantasy world, and I'm building. It's gonna be an overarching fantasy world, but this is a standalone, so anything that comes out after these books come out, you don't have to read. But if you like the fantasy world or you like some of the things I'm playing with, there'll be more books in it. This is very low fantasy at the moment. There's some high fantasy stuff coming later, but overall we're not dealing with politics or anything of those lines. There's hints of what's going on, nothing too grandeur. Mostly because I'm still trying to figure out the world itself, and I haven't written the first book in this fantasy world yet. It's gonna be like a main series line. But it's not important, but it's kind of important. Franklin is a owner. He owns a magical shop because he in this world is called a seeker. So essentially he goes around and he like touch magical items to find them. He like finds them. He cannot produce magic, but he can find magical items. And so he has a shop where he can sell those magic items because to him the magic doesn't work on, but everybody else the magic does work on. And then we have Francis, who I don't remember how much information I've given out, but he's a monster hunter. There's some other contentions and stuff. They were close childhood friends at the beginning of their life, and then there was a big separation between 15 years, and now they're meeting each other again due to new circumstances. It's about their romance, because like the whole book is all about teaching and like it's fun, it's cute and things. I'm just gonna try to keep it as low, like not to put them in a relationship as quick as possible because I want to put them in a relationship. So yeah, that's my current thing. The Muse, on the other hand, which I just mentioned, is I haven't released any names yet. It follows N and C. Those are the two main characters. It's a dual POV, first person, fake dating romance, contemporary, and we're following two people as they get into a fake dating situationship. And there was a scene that I have been talking about a little bit on this channel where I was like, oh my God, I think we're gonna plateau. I just posted my December writing vlog. I talked about in that video, and I hit the scene, and I'm like, why is this not working? And I've been struggling to write this book. I've been trying, like I've written like 2,000 or 3,000 extra words past that point in the book. Like I mean, we've made progress, but I'm like, what's going on? I said to my husband, I was like, I don't think this thing should have happened. He's like, okay, well then it probably shouldn't have happened. And I was like, I know, but it takes so much work to rearrange everything. He's like, well, that's the job, so do it. And I was like, fine. And no, he was really glad. He was like, he also gave me like pointers and tips and stuff on how to better it. And he came with this like really fun idea that I'm currently writing, which I like, and so I'm grateful. I'm now back to being obsessed because I figured out my problem, and I'm like loving the dynamic again. And I'm like, this is great. Also, the section that I'm writing currently is kind of scaring me, and so I don't have to write it for so many chapters, like 6 chapters, 5 chapters. That's how far we were off. It's crazy. So now we're backwards and we're building up to what I already know. That's where we're at. I wrote 300 words today, but in total I think it was like 1,000 because I had to do some major notes and outlining. But I'm really excited to write it, which is just exciting. The point where I'm looking at writing tablets, you see the problem? Because I had a MacBook that I wrote everything on for such a long time. Well, I got that MacBook used in 2018, and it's now 2026, almost 10 years past the point of it being used. We're looking for other options, and I didn't want to buy a whole new laptop because that seems ridiculous since I'm only using it for writing, and so I'm looking into direct writing things. Like they have like built things directly for writing, and then I'm also just looking into like normal tablets that I can go out and buy like a keyboard for. Both are options, and we'll figure out which one I decide. Welcome to this week. Let's see what the journey takes us. I'm here to talk about my journey today. I almost bought a laptop. I almost bought a tablet. By the way, I fucking hate the keyboard on the tablet. The whole reason I was so excited because I wanted the tablet for like a lot of different reasons, and so it wasn't just like I was getting it for writing purposes, but I was going to get it for others. That's not happening. So I went and I got a bunch of books from the library. That's not important. You guys are writing, and so let's go ahead and show you what I did get. So like I said, I was going to go in for a Samsung tablet because I have a Samsung phone. We have everything's connected through Samsung, and I've heard mixed things. To be honest with you, I do think Samsung is the next rewarded one, like next highly regarded one outside of Apple. I wasn't gonna get Apple because I don't have any Apple products anymore, even though I've been told like that might be the solution. And the laptop I wanted ended up having a few problems with it that were like deal breakers. And so this other guy, we went to Best Buy, and this other guy was like, "How about this laptop?" And he went and he tried to find it, and it wasn't in stock, which I took as a sign. Okay, that means I'm not supposed to buy a laptop today, which is fine. So now we're back to square one, which is I went and I bought a brand new keyboard to try to write with. Is the plan, because I still want to write at home. I just couldn't write on my current keyboard. My current keyboard, you might be like, why can't you write with that? Honestly, I just gotta kind of show you. There might be a glare. I don't know. So this is my current, okay? And the big thing here is with this one, like, can you see like how tall those keys are? It is really hard for me to like write on it because of how my hands have to sit in order to press down the keys. Like it hurts. It constantly hurts for a very long time, okay? I went out to buy a writing keyboard that's specifically made for writing. This is what that looks like. And these are like much flatter keys, which is the point of it. Where the triggers it for it to be able to work. So yeah, so I'm going to try that today. I'm probably going to try that tonight to see. It feels very nice, very, very exactly what I was kind of looking for. And it's going to go over here on my thing, and we're not going to worry about it. But yeah, okay, so new keyboard was bought. That's basically my big update for you. Since I already updated you on writing. Writing's still going good. Nothing really to talk about on that forefront. I'm about to get ready for work, but I figured you guys deserved a writing update. This is a weekly vlog, and I've done a pretty good job, I would say, at updating you. That's why I chose, like, why I normally do bi-weekly, but we're trying something different, okay? We're trying to be more personal. I don't really know. By the way, I'm working on the muse like I have been, and it is still going. We finished the first new chapter I needed to write to bridge the gap between these things that I'm doing. That led into a chapter that was pretty filled with older content that I'm slowly like reshaping into the newer narrative that we are following, because there's like a few plot lines that were introduced, and I kind of like the way that they were introduced, and so I'm keeping them pretty much the same, and then we're changing some other stuff. That's where I'm at. We probably have written overall, I've written 600 words today, or about 800 words yesterday. That's pretty good. And there's about 2,000 words that are old content words that I have been like editing and shifting a little bit. We'll continue that when I get to work today. I think I did one before I went to work. So I wrote 500 words before work, right? And now we're here after work. I wrote another 700 words at work. Not as high as I like, but also like I could not. I want to write actively, but I just cannot. I did go through the rest of the sequence of events that I'm working through, and I changed a lot of words, and so I kept most of what it was, but I changed enough to think they're new words. We are officially in other newer territory, going in a bit of a different direction, but still staying in the same direction. Yeah, this is a long chapter, which is not my favorite right now, because these are like I said, these are like bridge moments, but it is a longer chapter. We're probably just about halfway through it, and it's already like 2,600 words, and so there's another half to go. I don't really know how long the conversation is going to be, or really what it's about, but I'm kind of curious. I'm excited though. There's also like a few other little threads that are going on right now that I'm just like excited to play with in future like moments like this, like these off moment in between moments. I'm really excited to play with, and yeah, overall these characters are continuing to surprise me. In certain ways I find both of them unlikable, which I think is kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do think one has a much more likable thing, and I think the problem here is that one of the main characters characters. I'm just not fully sure of, I understand the motivation pretty clearly, but I don't understand how the character got to the motivation, but I do know that this is the character's motivation. And so I think once we deep dive a little bit more into his past, which I'll be doing in the next few sections of this book, I think I'll have a clearer understanding, and I think as I understand the character, I think you as a reader will also understand the character, and I can also figure out what I need to pull from. This character's continuity is also a fucking mess in the first half, because I kept forgetting one very pivotal detail, and it's changed several different sequences of events because I changed it back and forth. And so I will have to make one strong opinion on it. I think I already know the opinion, but I'm gonna have to like stick to it. Now I'm only having to fix like the first 40,000 words of continuity error because it was rough. And it's the character, like I said, that I think is more kind of unlikable because we're not really understanding why he's choosing to act upon the way he's acting. And then you have other situations that are being brought in that are dealing with a little bit of darker material, as every book I do. I typically like to keep the romance light and fresh and happy, but normally when it surrounds itself by, it's not very light, fresh, or happy. I say that as I release Gunshot Residue, and Gunshot Residue is like not light, fun, and or happy at all. There's little moments, there's pockets of happiness, but that's what they are. There are pockets. But like with like Project CFR, another active romance, it's a longer romance I'm working on. It's very light, fun, happy, and there's like darker stuff that's happening because we're basically like in that one like in a grim dark fantasy. So there's dark shit happening, but it's like not affecting the main character, which is fun. You know, with this one, like there's a side character that's pretty prevalent through the majority of the novel. Both people have a few side characters that make a copious amount of appearances. However, one of the characters has a side character that's throughout the whole thing has their own kind of like baby arc. The other characters don't pop enough to have like a full-blown arc, redemption, whatever it might be. I'm adding in a smaller one for a different character, and I have a feeling there's gonna be like a round circle moment, but not like an arc for a different character as well, which are fine. I think side characters, B characters and stuff, normally they are revolving around you as a person, but in order for a side character to like stand out and make an impression on the reader, they need to be a little bit more nuanced. And the conversation isn't like, it's nothing new to the genre. I am enjoying how it's going to play out. And also, I'm not going to lie, because this book is it's playing pretty much into realism in a lot of ways, I have a feeling that the results and the endings of this, which I think you as a viewer can really see it from a mile away, that's going to go in a route that is going to hurt. And so this character is probably not going to have a happy ending per se. I don't really know though. This is a character that for like if this turned into like I'd write companions with this would be a character I think I would bridge off into a companion book. I'm not entirely sure why, but I could see it happening. However, they're so deeply connected and intertwined with everything that I don't really know, but I'm just letting you know this is the character that I think would get a sequel. Because at this moment in time, I don't think these characters need sequels. However, I do love seeing like that's what the beautiful thing about companion books is that sometimes a character that you love is just done. Like some characters only live one book. And some characters, you're like, no, this is a character that's going to get 10 books. Or you're like, no, this is a character that's going to get 3 books or something or those lines. Like with a companion piece, it's like those characters are done, but I can continue their stories without them being the forefront. So they don't have to be in drama. They don't have to be, I don't have to be ruining their lives per se. I can if I want, but I don't have to. And then other characters that people might not like or something could get like a bonus sympathy arc or something. I don't know. There's moments like that I just absolutely have been adoring in a companion romance series. Hello, Ready Vlog. Let's update you because I feel like you deserve to be updated. Oh my god. How you doing, girl? You doing okay? I'm not. I hope you're doing better. This is turned into a bi-weekly video. We're going to cover the first 2 weeks of February. I don't have anything directly to update you, but I figured we should talk about it. Honestly, life has been a little stressful. We're trying to figure out what we're doing, and that requires a lot of back and forth. Essentially, we're coming up to the end of our lease, where we're currently staying, and so we're just trying to figure out some logistics of some stuff, as one does. Also, work has been a little stressful due to some other reasons I can't get into, and so it's been a little bit stressful. I have written a bit more into the muse, I will have to say. I think probably the next time I write, maybe 2 or 3 times, I would say the next time I write, I could see myself catching up to where I left off, where I started again. And I'm a little nervous about that, just because where I left off, I was going to do a bit of research, and I'm not in a point where I can do a bit of research. I don't have the time to. So we might end up having to pause things just because of like that factor, if I'm being honest with you. And we're at the final little bridge. I'm excited to add these words into my document though. We're gonna get like to close to 45,000 words, which is very, very lucky, very, very exciting. I was reading a little bit of like the extra stuff and I was like, ooh, this is a lot that's got to change. But we already knew that going into it, not a problem. And I started dissecting the stuff that I've already used as well, because I don't want that on top of everything. Yeah, either way. We might get to the point where I was at beforehand, take a little break, work on something else, and then come back. That might be what we end up having to do. I might not have a choice in the matter of this one. Need some time to prepare. I think March would be a good month to come back into this project. I just want to see, once again, I'm really playing this year by, like, up in the air. Things are going to get done when they're going to get done. I'm not really that worried about it. There is, like, a bit of pressure. And the further we get along this year, the easier this is going to be for writing. And to the point where I'm like, this is a summer release. It feels summery, in my opinion, but it could get released in the fall and be fine. However, I have a perfect project. Project CFR is perfect for a summer, like a fall release. So I'd like to release that in the fall instead. So, like, they are kind of slated. If that makes any sense. I might work on Project CFR next and then work on Secret Project and come back to this. Those don't have the same requirements, if that makes any sense. Okay, that makes sense. I'll tell you next time. Today is the final day for this writing vlog, and I figured I'd do one last check-in before I'm gonna go get ready for work and then come back here and continue doing my editing. I just have to clean out our container, which shouldn't take me super duper long. I will check in with my husband though, because I don't know what he needs. Writing is going. I have written every day, to be fair, and I do typically try to get a little bit of words in before work. I don't think I'm gonna try that today. I am trying to get this video up. It's probably not gonna happen today. Wouldn't it just be so fun for Game Changers to be out on Valentine's Day? I thought so, but like, I just feel like it's gonna be a tomorrow thing. I have written every day this week, so I read 740 words on the 11th, 259 words on the 12th, and on the 13th, 637 words. Overall, the total for this video is we're up to 4,554 words. I am at the very end of my bridging of the gap between where I left off before, when I started this challenge, or the idea, what I think that needed to change for this book, to where we are now. And after this, I have to jump over into a different project. My goal today, I also need to read all the Will of the Many, or the majority of the Will of the Many, to finish that video. That book either today or tomorrow. We'll see what we can accomplish with the write. But I'll try my best. My goal today, it's not really like a word county situation. I'm just trying to finish the chapter that I'm currently writing. These chapters are ranging between 4 or 2 to 5,000 words, depending on the subject and things. I don't know how many words were into it. We're like 1,300 words or something. 1,500 words, I take that back, already into the scene. And that's because the original first scene that I had started writing, where I realized, oh my god, I think this is off, is going to be at the end of this. We're just combining some things. And so, yeah, I don't really think it has that much more to go. We're dealing with some interesting tensional things in the muse right now, which is fun. Some reveals just happened. It's about the reveal itself is not really that important, but it's adding some extra level. And I'm trying to figure out how long I want that level to stay. In the original one, this section had a little bit of an awkward tension to it because of a different scenario that ends up being moved. It's the thing that ends up being moved. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can still value while also embodying the sexual tension of it all as well. How can I merc the two together? That's where I'm looking at right now, and it might be something I have to work on in March. I will talk to you guys all tonight with a final check-in, or probably tomorrow. Today is Valentine's Day, so I don't see myself coming upstairs to record for you. Or maybe I'll do it in the bedroom. Final check-in, and hopefully I reach my goal. Hello, writing vlog. I want to come here and close you out. We're going to talk about the first 14 days, 15 days, I guess, technically today, when talking about writing. In this vlog, we wrote 6,787 words in the muse, which did bring us up to our final goal, which was to finish this section of the muse that we were working through, which I definitely did do. I don't know if I came in here and update you guys based on that or not, but I finished it yesterday, and I feel really confident about where we left off. I'm really excited. I'm excited for this little bit of a break before we jump into bigger stuff for the muse. I'm really excited for this next section, and I'm excited to jump back into it, but I'm also excited for this tiny little break. With that being said, it does conclude this video. We are going to put an end to this video. We're going to try to get it up as soon as possible. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if this is of interest to you. Next time, I'm hoping to have a little bit more beef footage of me writing and stuff. The next writing video you can see from me will be a Project CFR update video, which will have some vlog clips in it as well. I'm trying to do both because I think it's the easiest way to catch you up to speed where I'm currently at. Essentially, I think we're going to do an overview of where I'm at the end, and then we're going to put the vlog clips in to show the progress. I think is the idea. But yeah, okay. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.